السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته يا شيخ. السلام عليكم.
كيف الحال؟
الحمد لله يا شيخ.
How are we going now?
نعم يا شيخ.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد, we are reading from Siyar A'alām An-Nubala regarding the Seerah of Fatimah binti Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam wa radiyallahu anha. Al-Imām Adh-Dhahabi in Siyar A'alām An-Nubala, he has compiled a number of reports about Fatimah radiyallahu anha, her name, her nicknames, her alqab, her kuna, her lineage, her nasab, and so on. Her marriage to Ali ibn Abi Talib, the love of the Prophet for her, radiyallahu anha. And so we have seen a number of ahadith regarding Fatima az-Zahra, radiyallahu anha, al-Batul, bintu Rasulillah, sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. We had also read a number of ahadith where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam mentioned clearly that Fatima radiyallahu anha, she is from the best of the women of the world. In a report he said alayhi salatu wasalam, hasbuka min nisa'il alamin مريم وخديجة وآسية بنت مزاحم وفاطمة بنت محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. We had read a number of these ahadith. We are on page 128 from the third volume of the print of Mu'assasatul Risala of this book, Siyar A'alām An-Nubala. The second to the last paragraph, Al-Imām Adh-Dhahabi rahimahullah, he reports from Qutaybah ibn Sa'id. So he said, Qutaybah ibn Sa'id, حدثنا محمد ibn Musa عن عون ibn Muhammad ibn Ali عن أمه جعفر. This hadith that Al-Imām Adh-Dhahabi seeks to tell us now about Aisha, about Fatima radiyallahu anha. It has two isnad, but it starts with Qutaybah ibn Sa'id. That's a well-known from the shuyukh of Al-Imām al-Bukhari, Al-Imām Muslim, and others from amongst the Ashabu Sunan. Qutaybah ibn Sa'id, Abu Raja' rahimahullah, he said, حدثنا Muhammad ibn Musa, that is Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Musa al-Fitri, Abu Abdullah. He is reporting from Aun ibn Muhammad ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib had a son called Muhammad. That boy Muhammad had a son called Aun. And Aun, he is the one reporting from his mother Ja'far. Ja'far, she is also called Aun, and she is Aun bintu Muhammadin ibn Ja'far. She is the grandchild of Ja'far ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib, the brother of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So this is the first chain of report for this narration. The second chain of report comes from Umara ibn Muhajir. Umara ibn Muhajir also reported it from Ja'far, that we have referred to as Awn. So two persons have reported it from Ja'far, who is also Awn. The first of them was Awn, her son, and the second of them was Umarah ibn Muhajir. The two of them said, Anna Fatimata qalat li Asma bint Umays. They said that Fatima radiyallahu anha, they were reporting from Awn, who is also called Ja'far. This woman, Al-Hafiz ibn Hajar, rahimahullah, refers to her as Maqbula, meaning that Maqbula in the Mutaba'a. If we find another person reporting the hadith regarding Fatima, together with Awn or Ja'far, this Ja'far, if we find another person reporting this narration, then the report will be accepted. But because she was alone in reporting it, the report is da'if. So if they say regarding a reporter that he is maqbool, they will say, ya'ani inda al-mutaba'a idha tubi'a. If such a person is accompanied in that report by another reporter who is not known to be a rejected reporter. Or in this case, Ja'far or Awn, the same person that's called Ja'far, she's the same person that is called Awn. She was alone in this report. So this report is essentially weak because it has, that's why Shaykh Shu'aib al-Arnaut, in his comment on this hadith, he said, Fi sanadihi jahala. The chain of report has some unknown reporting in it. And I think it has come from Ja'far or Awn bint Muhammad ibn Ja'far ibn Abi Talib. What did she say? She said, Rahimahullah, Anna Fatimata qalat li Asma bint Umays. She said that Fatima radiyallahu anha told Asma bint Umays. We remember that Asma bint Umays was married to Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, the elder brother of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And when Ja'far died, Asma bint Umays became married to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So at this time, when this report is being given, when this incident happened, if it were an authentic report, Asma bint Umays was a wife to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So it says that Anna Fatimata qalat li Asma bint Umays. It said that Fatima radiyallahu anha said to Asma bint Umays, Inni astaqbihu ma yusna'u bin nisa. That Fatima said radiyallahu anha, Inni astaqbihu ma yusna'u bin nisa. I really reject, I decry ma yusna'u bin nisa, what the people do with women. She's talking about in terms of how they wrap them when they pass away, how they clothe them in their coffin when they pass away, in the shrouds, when during the funeral. She said, Fatima said, Inni astaqbihu ma yusna'u bin nisa. I decry, I dislike what people do with women. Yutrahu ala al-mar'ati thawb fayasifuha. The people will just throw the cloth on the woman. Yutrahu ala al-mar'ati thawb. The cloth will be used upon the woman. Fayasifuha. And when she becomes shrouded, yasifuha, the cloth will show her features. Qalat Asma bint Umays replied and said, Yabnata Rasulillah, O daughter of Rasulullah, Ala uriki shay'an ra'aytuhu bil habasha. Should I not show you something I saw when we came to Abyssinia, فَدَعَتْ بِجَرَائِدَ رَطْبَةٍ فَحَنَتْهَا دَعَتْ بِجَرَائِدَ رَطْبَةٍ. Asma'u bint Umays called that she should get some palm fronds. You know, when the leaves of the palm is removed, the trunk, she called for it. She called for a fresh one and she weaved it together. ثُمَّ طُرِحَتْ عَلَيْهَا ثَوْبًا. Then it was used to cover the way the clothes are used to cover the individual. The palm fronds were put together and used to cover the dead person. فَقَالَتْ فَاطِمَةٌ. When Fatima radiallahu anha saw that weave of the trunks of the palm tree that were put together and woven together, that could be placed on a woman in addition to the cloth that was used to wrap her, so as to be sure that the features of the woman do not expose at all. فَقَالَتْ فَاطِمَةُ. Fatima radiallahu anha then said to Asma'u bint Umays, مَا أَحْسَنَ هَذَا وَأَجْمَلَهُ. How so nice and beautiful is this? إِذَا مِتُّ فَغَسِّلِينِ. When I pass away, when I die, you should wash me. غَسِّلِينِ أَنْتِ وَعَلِيُّ وَلَا تَدْخُلَنَّ أَحَدٌ عَلَيَّ. You and my husband Ali should wash me, give me the funeral bath. وَلَا يَدْخُلَنَّ أَحَدٌ عَلَيَّ. And no one at all should be allowed to come and see my corpse. فَلَمَّا تُوفِيَتْ. When Fatima radiallahu anha passed away, جاءت عائشة لتدخل. Aisha radiallahu anha came so that she could have access to see her. فقالت أسماء. Don't forget, at that time Asma'u bint Umays was one of the wives of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, so she was in the status of a stepmother to Aisha radiallahu anha. فلما توفيت. When Fatima radiallahu anha passed away, جاءت عائشة لتدخل. Aisha came so that she could come in. فقالت أسماء. Then Asma'u bint Umays said, لا تدخلي. You would not come in. فشكت إلى أبي بكر الصديق. So Aisha radiallahu anha reported the matter, escalated the matter to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. فجاء. Then Abu Bakr as-Siddiq came. فوقف على الباب. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq stayed in front of the bab. فكلم أسماء. And then spoke to his wife Asma'u bint Umays. فقالت هي أمارتني. Asma'u bint Umays said that هي أمارتني. O Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, it was Fatima who gave me that command that I should not allow anybody come to see her corpse. قال. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq then told Asma'u bint Umays, فاصنعي ما أمرتك. Then you should do whatever that Fatima bint Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had commanded you to do. ثم انصرف. Then Abu Bakr as-Siddiq left the place. This report, like this, is weak. We had told us that Ja'far, or Awn, as she's also called, she's a person who is not absolutely a reliable reporter of hadith. She is maqbula, yani inda al-mutaba'a. If her reports are followed up by other corroborating evidences, then it will be accepted. Otherwise, her reports are not relied upon as evidence. That was why Shaykh Shu'aib al-Arnaud said, fi sanadihi jahala. The chain of report has some unknown persons in it because they are not clearly known to be trustworthy reporters. Likewise, Awn ibn Muhammad ibn Ali, he was also completely known as a trustworthy reporter of hadith. Wallahu alam. In the line that followed the report, Imām Adh-Dhahabi said, Qala ibn Abdul Barri. Imam ibn Abdul Barri said, هي أول من غطي نعشها في الإسلام على تلك الصفة. He said Fatima was أول من غطي نعشها في الإسلام. The first person whose nash, that is the carriage, carrying her body to the grave, was so made. How? She was shrouded, and then the palm fronts were weaved and placed upon her, so that her corpse and her person itself is not exposed, and in a way that it deciphers the body of the person who is shrouded and being gotten to the graveyard. So Al-Imam Ibn Abdul Barri said, هي أول من غطي نعشها في الإسلام على تلك الصفة. She was the first of those غطي نعشها في الإسلام, that her carriage, nash, that is what with which the dead person is carried. The first person whose carriage was covered like that, in that way, was Fatima bint Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Don't forget that we have said that isnad, that report, that narration, is a report that's not reliable. Wallahu alam. Al-Imām Adh-Dhahabi rahimahullah also mentions another report in the lines that followed that. He said Ismail ibn Abi Khalid. This is one from among the scholars of hadith rahimahumullah. He is Ismail ibn Abi Khalid Abu Abdullah al-Kufi. He was reporting from Al-Imam al-Sha'bi, who said, جاء أبو بكر إلى فاطمة حين مرضت. When Fatima radiallahu anha became ill, in the illness in which she passed away, فاستأذن, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq came, and then he asked for permission to come in to see her. فأذنت له. So Fatima radiallahu anha allowed that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq should come in to see her. فَاعْتَذَرَ إِلَيْهَا. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq began to explain to Fatima radiallahu anha. We remember that one occurs also on page 121. That when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq came in radiallahu anhu, he was telling her that Wallahi ma taraktu ad-dara wal-mala wal-ahla wal-ashirata illa ibtigha'a mardati Allahi wa rasulihi wa mardatikum ahla al-bayt. Ma taraktu ad-dar. I have not left the homes, wal-mal, and the wealth, wal-ahl, wal-ashira, إلا ابتغاء مرضات الله ورسوله ومرضاتكم يا أهل البيت. All that I have left from the things perhaps that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam left behind. We remember that we had explained to us that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, as a messenger of Allah, the messengers of Allah, whatever they left, فَهُوَ صَدَقَةٌ مَا تَرَكُوا. Whatever they left behind is sadaqah. Like we mentioned, and we said that this hadith is so well reported. The prophets of Allah do not leave behind an estate for inheritance. Whatever they left behind is for the entirety of the ummah. It will be returned to the coffers of the ummah. So Fatima wasn't pleased with that until Abu Bakr as-Siddiq read the hadith to her. And then the rest of the companions who had heard the Prophet say that too began to affirm that statement from Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So he came and i'tazara ilayha. He began to explain to her the reason why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would not have been inherited. We have heard from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that the messengers of Allah are not inherited. Ma taraknahu fahuwa sadaqah. Whatever we leave behind is sadaqah. Wa kallamaha. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq began to speak to Fatima, faradiyat anhu, until he was certain that she became pleased with him and not angry as she was, because Abu Bakr as-Siddiq had insisted, radiyallahu anhu, that whatever the Prophet left was sadaqah. In the line that followed it, Imām Adh-Dhahabi rahimahullah reported from Ibrāhīm ibn Sa'd and Ibn Ishaq and Ali ibn Fulan ibn Abi Rafi' an Abihi an Salma qalat. This report has come from Ibrāhīm ibn Sa'id, from Ibn Ishaq, Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Ishaq, who said from Ali ibn Fulan ibn Abi Rafi. Ali ibn Fulan ibn Abi Rafi was reporting from his father, Fulanun ibn Abi Rafi, who was reporting from Salma, that she said, radiyallahu anha, maridat Fatimatu. Fatima became ill. She narrated that incident, ila an qalat, until she said, idfaja'at ala firashiha. She was lying down on her bed when she felt ill, in that illness in which she died. وَاسْتَقْبَلَتِ الْكِبْلَةِ. And Fatima was also facing the Qibla. ثُمَّ قَالَتْ. Then Fatima radiyallahu anha said, Wallahi inni maqbudatun as-sa'ata. I swear by Allah, my life will be taken away in this moment. At this time, my life is going to be taken away. وَقَدْ اغْتَسَلْتُ. And I have made my ghusl. فَلَا يَكْشِفَنَّ لِي أَحَدٌ كَنَفًا. So no one, لَا يَكْشِفَنَّ لِي أَحَدٌ كَنَفًا. So no one should think of ever exposing my clothes. Meaning that, قَدْ اغْتَسَلْتُ. I already have my ghusl. So no one should expose my clothes in the name of wanting to give me the funeral bath. فَمَاتَتْ. And then she died. وَجَاءَ عَلِيٌّ فَأَخْبَرْتُهُ. Ali radiyallahu anhu then came. فَأَخْبَرْتُهُ. Salma said, then I informed Ali that Fatima said, قَدْ اغْتَسَلْتُ فَلَا يَكْشِفَنَّ لِي أَحَدٌ كَنَفًا. I have already made my ghusl, and so no one should expose me before she died. So they informed Ali ibn Abi Talib, فَدَفَنَهَا بِغُسْلِهَا ذَلِكَ. And so Ali ibn Abi Talib, dafanaha, he proceeded and buried Fatima radiyallahu anha بِغُسْلِهَا ذَلِكَ, based upon the ghusl that Fatima had had before she passed away. Al-Imām Adh-Dhahabi said regarding this report, هَذَا مُنْكَرٌ. This is a rejected report. This report is not authentic at all, to say that Fatima had already had a ghusl before she passed away, and that she instructed the people radiyallahu anha, saying that فَلَا يَكْشِفَنَّ لِي أَحَدٌ كَنَفًا. No one should expose any part of my clothes, and that she died like that, and that when Ali ibn Abi Talib came to the place where she died in her room, he proceeded to bury her without a ghusl, without shrouding her. And he just went on like that. Imām Adh-Dhahabi said, هذا منكر. This is a rejected report. These kinds of reports were very common. I remember vividly as a young person, we used to be told all these kinds of stories that Fatima radiallahu anha was not given the funeral bath, the ghusl, that neither was she given the salah, that she did that all by herself before she died, and all of these. Imām Adh-Dhahabi said, rahimahullah, yes, they were reported, but these are from manakir. هذا munkarun. In the isnad itself, there are issues. Muhammad ibn Ishaq, the one who reported from Ali ibn Fulan, he is a mudallis. A group of people, the scholars of hadith call mudallisun. These people, if they report a hadith and they do not say haddathana or akhbarana, the report will be rejected. And here, Ibn Ishaq only said an Ali ibn Fulan. So the report is a rejected report, firstly, from this angle. From the second angle is that Ali ibn Fulan in this isnad, from whom Muhammad ibn Ishaq has reported the report, the narration. He is also a weak reporter of hadith. And so the hadith is not authentic. It is not authentic from the isnad from two angles. Firstly, there is عنها of Ibn Ishaq. Secondly, there is the lean of Ali ibn Fulan. So the isnad is also da'if. It is not sahih. And from the aspects of the matnu, the content itself, we know that most of what has been said are not appropriate. Why? Because what the Prophet ﷺ established when his daughter Ruqayya died, radiallahu anha, the Prophet gave her a bath. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. She had a shroud on her. In fact, the hadith about how the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam handled the burial of Ruqayya, his daughter, alayhi salatu wasalam, is a major hadith in understanding the birth of women and the burial of women in Abwabul Janais. So to say here that Fatima was saying that she should not be given a bath, she already had a bath, she lied down facing the Qibla, and all of these, they contradict these basic sunan that were established, that if a woman passed away, she should be given a funeral bath, just like the rest of the women. That was why Imām Adh-Dhahabi said, هَذَا مُنْكَرٌ. It is a rejected report from the angle of its isnad and from the angle of its matn. I hope that this is clear. And the page that followed, Al-Imām Adh-Dhahabi rahimahullah reported another narration regarding Fatima radiallahu anha. He this time mentioned it from Abu Awana. Abu Awana, we always come across his reports. He is Al-Waddah ibn Abdullah al-Yashkuri. Abu Awana in this report, we always come across his reports in Al-Adab al-Mufrad. From those from whom Al-Imam al-Bukhari reported their narrations in Al-Adab al-Mufrad was Abu Awana. His name was Waddah ibn Abdullah al-Yashkuri. So here Al-Imam Adh-Dhahabi said Abu Awana, even though the isnad is also an isnad that returns to Al-Imam al-Bukhari. He says Abu Awana and Firasin ibn al-Sha'bi, and Firasin and al-Sha'bi and Masrukin. This report comes from Abu Awana, Waddah ibn Abdullah al-Yashkuri, and Firas. Firas He is Firasun ibn Yahya al-Hamdani. Firasun ibn Yahya al-Hamdani Abu Yahya an al-Sha'bi. Al-Sha'bi is al-Imam Amir ibn Sharahil al-Sha'bi. Is reporting from Masruq ibn al-Ajda. Let me say from the very beginning, this report has been reported from Aisha by Masruq ibn al-Ajda, Abu Aisha, rahimahullah. Masruq, we know him. He is usually referred to as Abu Aisha. He was very, very close to our mother, radiyallahu anha, Aisha. Masruq ibn al-Ajda. He had a daughter and he named that girl Aisha. So he was usually called Masruq ibn al-Ajda, and his kunya was Abu Aisha. This report was not reported from Aisha by Masruq alone. It was reported from her by three others. The first of them, Aisha bint Talha. Aisha bint Talha, she was that woman who was given birth to by Kulthum. You remember we mentioned the younger sister of Aisha that was given birth to after the death of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Her name was Aisha bint Abi Bakr as-Siddiq. Her name was Kulthum bint Abi Bakr as-Siddiq. She was the one that Umar offered to marry and then she declined. This girl, radiyallahu anha aw rahimahallah, Kulthum bint Abi Bakr as-Siddiq, she got married to Talha ibn Ubaidillah. From that marriage they had Aisha. That Aisha they had was always with our mother Aisha, radiyallahu anha. So both mother and daughter grew up under the house of Aisha. The mother was Kulthum, the daughter of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, the younger sister of Aisha. She grew up in the house with our mother Aisha. Kulthum now grew up, got married, and gave birth to a child called Aisha. This time Aisha bint Talha ibn Ubaidillah. This girl too grew up under our mother Aisha, radiyallahu anha. So she was among those who reported this hadith from Aisha. So this hadith came from Masruq, as we have it here. It also came from Aisha bint Talha. It also came from Urwa ibn Zubayr from Aisha. We know Urwa ibn Zubayr, the son of Asma'u bint Abi Bakr as-Siddiq. There's a fourth person who has reported this report from Aisha, and that was Abu Salama, the son of Abdurrahman ibn Auf. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this if you go to the last line, Imām Adh-Dhahabi, in the last expression, he said, وَهُوَ فَرْدٌ غَرِيبٌ. If you go to the last line, the last expression, Imām Adh-Dhahabi called this report Fardun Garib. The infirad and the gharaba has come only in this report, that this report was reported from Masruq by Ash-Sha'bi alone. Otherwise, it was widely reported from Aisha. The gharaba and the infirad, I think it came, Allahu Alam, from the report of Sha'bi. Sha'bi, Amir ibn Sharahil, was alone in reporting this hadith from Masruq. Otherwise, from Aisha, three other persons reported it from Aisha. But from Masruq, only Al-Imam Al-Sha'bi was found, according to my search, and I tried to search who others reported it from Masruq. I only found Al-Imam Al-Sha'bi. Perhaps this is from where the infirad and the gharaba has come. And then this hadith occurs in Sahih al-Bukhari and in other books of hadith. So it is not from those gharaib, those hadith that were loan and that were rejected. I hope that this is clear, because al-infirad itself, laysa bi'illatin, that a reporter was alone in reporting a hadith, as long as he's a reliable reporter of hadith. that he was alone in it does not mean that that hadith is weak. So the reason I mentioned that is because of that last expression, fardun garib. So it is fardun garib min riwayat al-Sha'bi al-Masruq. It is fardun garib because al-Sha'bi was alone in reporting it from Masruq. Otherwise, there were those who reported it from Aisha apart from Masruq, rahimahumullah. And there were those who reported it from Firas ibn Yahya al-Hamdani apart from Abu Awana. So the infirad, wallahu alam, was that between al-Sha'bi and al-Imam Masruq ibn al-Ajda in this isnad. I hope that that is clear. This is a technical issue, but I think I came down to explain it in a manner that will be clear, since we are studying a book that was written upon the way of the scholars of hadith. Masruq ibn al-Ajda said, حدثتني عائشة رضي الله عنها. Aisha رضي الله عنها said to me, كنا أزواج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. كنا, we, the wives of the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. اجتمعنا إنه, once we gathered around him. لم يغادر منهن واحدة. No one amongst us left the place. All the wives of the Prophet who were gathered with the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. لم يغادر منهن واحدة. No one had left. فجاءت فاطمة تمشي. Then Fatima radiallahu anha came. She was walking towards us. ما تخطئ مشيتها مشية رسول الله. ما تخطئ مشيتها مشية رسول الله. ما تخطئ مشيتها مشية رسول الله. Her way of walking, her manner, mishya, the way she walks, ما تخطئ مشية رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. It does not in any way become different. It is not in any way different from the way, the pattern of the Prophet walking, alayhi salatu wasalam. The way she walked, the same way she was walking. That is the way the Prophet used to walk, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. فَلَمَّا رَآهَا, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw her, رَحَّبَ بِهَا, he really was happy and he welcomed her. قال, the Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam, marhaban bi ibnati, you're welcome, oh my daughter. My daughter, welcome. You are welcome, my daughter. ثم أقعدها عن يمينه أو عن يساره. Then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made Fatima to sit down عن يمينه, to his right side, أو عن يساره, or to the left. I think it was either to the right or to the left. ثم سارها فبكت. ثم سارها. Subsequently, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asarra ilayha, as it's in other reports, he told her some secrets. Fabakat, yani, the Prophet spoke to her gently. Nobody heard. He just whispered some things to her. Fabakat. And then Fatima wept, radiyallahu anha. ثم سارها الثانية فضحكت. And then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam asarra ilayha thaniya. He told her on another occasion, just a second time, he said another thing to her. He whispered another thing to her. فضحكت. And then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam began to smile. فلما قام, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam stood up, قلت لها, I said to Fatima, خصك رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بالسر وأنت تبكين. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam specially told you some secrets. وأنت تبكين. And then you started to cry. عزمت عليك بمالي عليك من حق. عزمت عليك. I now urge you بما لي عليك من حق, with every sense of a right that I have over you. Because yes, I am not your mother, I am your stepmother. فعزمت عليك بما لي عليك من حق. For every right of stepmotherhood, every right that I have over you, O Fatima, I employ it to urge you. لما أخبرتني مما ضحكت. You have to tell me, please inform me, مما ضحكت. Why was it that you smiled? ومما بكيت. And what was it for which you cried? قالت. Fatima said, ما كنت لأفشي سر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. I wouldn't expose a secret from the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. The secret of the Prophet, ما كنت لأفشي سر رسول الله. I wouldn't expose the secrets of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فلما توفي, when the Prophet finally died عليه الصلاة والسلام, قلت لها, I said to Fatima, عزمت عليك بما لي عليك من حق لما أخبرتني. عزمت عليك بما لي عليك من حق. I urge you strongly again, بما لي عليك من حق, regarding any kind of a right that I have over you. You have to give me this information. Then Fatima said, radiyallahu anha, amma al-an fana'am. Yes, as for now, I can tell you. When the Prophet was alive, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Fatima refused to tell Aisha what was it that the Prophet had told her in secret that made her to, on the first time, to cry, and on the second time, to smile. So Fatima said, Ammal an fana'am. But now that the Prophet has died, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I can tell you what he said. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Fatima said, في المرة الأولى حدثني أن جبريل كان يعارضه بالقرآن كل سنة مرة. Fatima said, في المرة الأولى حدثني أن جبريل, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, في المرة الأولى, on the first occasion, the first time, حدثني, the Prophet said to me that أن جبريل كان يعارضه بالقرآن كل سنة مرة. Jibril would come to read the Quran to him every year, مرة, once. وأنه عارضني العام في هذه السنة مرتين. But that في هذه السنة, during this year, عارضني مرتين, he read the Quran to me 2 times. وأني لا أحسب ذلك إلا عند اقتراب أجلي. And I do not, لا أحسب ذلك, I do not count that to mean anything, إلا عند اقتراب أجلي, except because my time has come near. فاتق الله واصبري. So fear Allah, O Fatima, واصبري, and be patient. فنعم السلف لك أنا, يعني نعم السلف أنا لك, I am a good salaf for you, meaning I would have passed away and I would have gone before you. Every person who goes upon Iman before us is our salaf. فنعم السلف أنا لك, so I'll be a good salaf. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, I will be a salaf for Fatima. So what will Fatima be for the rest of the women? because Fatima died 6 months after the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. So every person who dies upon Iman before you is your Salaf. The Prophet said, Ni'ma Salafu, a nice, good predecessor I am for you. So regarding Fatima, the Prophet is what? Sallallahu Salaf. So regarding us, the Prophets and the companions, they are what? Our Salaf. So if we follow Islam the way they followed Islam, if we practice Islam the way they practice Islam, if we have Iman the way they have Iman, that is what is called as-Salafiyya, the way they did it, the way of the Salaf. That's all. That is the meaning of as-Salafiyya, the way of the Salaf, the how of it, how they had Iman, how they had Ibadah, how they had mu'amalat, how they conducted themselves, how they related with people. It is all of this put together. How they made da'wah, how they related with other human beings. Sometimes people think that the meaning of Salafiyya is the ability to remove the people from the Sunnah, to criticize people. This is just one single thing inside as-Salafiyya. The way of the Salaf is all about their deen. As-Salafiyyatu is the whole deen in itself. Aqidatan wa ibadatan wa mu'amalatan wa tadrisan wa fikratan. Everything about your religion. That is what is contained inside As-Salafiyya. As-Salafiyya is not just about an ability to expel people, say this one is not good Salafi. Maybe it's not doing da'wah well. You can say in his da'wah he has issues not upon what the Salaf were upon. But the entirety of the Islam of a person, if it is like those of the companions and those who came after them, we say this person is a Salafi and his deen is the deen of Salafiyya. Just like the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Fatima, that ni'ma salafu ana laki, I am a good Salaf for you. I am a good predecessor for you. Radiyallahu anha. So the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Fatima, فَاتَّقِ اللَّهَ وَاصْبِرِي فَنِعْمَ السَّلَفُ لَكِ أَنَا. So فَاتَّقِ اللَّهَ, fear Allah, O Fatima. وَاصْبِرِي, and be patient. فَنِعْمَ السَّلَفُ لَكِ أَنَا, for I am a righteous Salaf for you. فَبَكَيْتُ, because the Prophet said, be patient, so I will die before. So she cried, radiyallahu anha. فَلَمَّا رَأَى جَزَعِي, when the Prophet saw how sad I was, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, قال, he then said on the second time, أَمَا تَرْضَيْنِ, will you not be pleased, O Fatima, radiyallahu anha, أَن تَكُونِي سَيِّدَةَ نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِ, will you not be pleased that أَن تَكُونِي سَيِّدَةَ نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِ, that you are the head of the women of all the worlds? Will you not be pleased, O Fatima? أو سيدة نساء هذه الأمة, or that you are the head of the women in this ummah? That's why we say Fatima is the most honored, the most virtuous, the most excellent woman in this ummah of Muhammad alayhi salam, because of this clear-cut hadith. This hadith occurs in Bukhari, Muslim, and in other books of hadith. The Prophet told her, radiyallahu anha, أما ترضين أن تكوني سيدة نساء العالمين أو سيدة نساء هذه الأمة? Are you not pleased that you become, or that you are سيدة نساء العالمين, the head of the women of all the worlds? أو سيدة نساء هذه الأمة, or you are the head of the women in this ummah? Are you not pleased with that? قالت, when the Prophet said that to Fatima radiyallahu anha, she said, فَضَحِكْتُ, then I smiled. So that was why she smiled on the second occasion. On the first occasion, the Prophet told her, alayhi salam, Jibril used to come and read Quran to me once in a year. He came to tell me, hey, your time is near. So I'm going to die soon. And when I die, I will be a nice salaf for you. So fattaqillaha wasbiri. So fear Allah and be patient. Fani'ma salafu ana laki. I'm going to be a nice predecessor. I will go first before you. So she wept. That's her father telling her, I am going to leave you soon. So naturally she would weep. Radiyallahu anha. So on the second occasion when he saw, like she said, radiyallahu anha, فَلَمَّا رَأَى جَزَعِي, when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw my sadness, alayhi salatu wasalam, then he said to her, أَمَا تَرْضَيْنَ أَن تَكُونِ سَيِّدَةَ نِسَاءِ الْعَالَمِينَ. Are you not pleased? There are lessons here. Sometimes when we say something to people we love, they feel bad. We say things to people we love, they feel bad. Then we should say something to them that will please them, so that we don't leave them inside the worry and sadness. قالت, Fatima said to Aisha, who was asking her about it, فَضَحِكَتْ. That was why I smiled the second time. This hadith, Imām Adh-Dhahabi said on the last line here, rahimahullah, أخرجه البخاري عن أبي نعيم زكريا عن فراس. He said أخرجه البخاري. Imam al-Bukhari has reported this hadith عن أبي نعيم, from his Shaykh Abū Nāsir, that is Imām al-Fadl ibn Dukayn rahimahullah, and Zakaria, that is Zakaria ibn Abi Zaidah rahimahullah, and Firas. Zakaria ibn Abi Zaidah reported it from Firas, that is Firasun ibn Yahya, Abu Yahya al-Hamdani rahimahullah. Then Adh-Dhahabi said, وَهُوَ فَرْدٌ غَرِيبٌ. I said the fardiyya and the gharaba that Imām Adh-Dhahabi mentions here, Allahu A'lam. Perhaps it's with regards to the fact that the only person who reported it from Masruq was who? Ash-Sha'bi. Otherwise, this hadith was reported from Aisha by Masruq, as we have it here. It was reported from her by Aisha bint Talha. It was reported from her by Urwa ibn Zubayr. It was reported from Aisha by Abu Salama, the son of Abdurrahman ibn Auf. All of this is a widely reported hadith. But the gharaba and infirad would come from Ash-Sha'bi and Masruqin ibn al-Ajda. I hope that this is clear, inshallah. I also think we can stop here. Bi'ithnillah. We'll still come back to the rest of the reports regarding Fatima radiyallahu anha. And it has started to come to my mind because we are getting to ending these reports about Fatima radiyallahu anha. What is occurring to me now is that after we end this life, the Seerah of Fatima, we should come back to a very important book that we have left behind unread for a long time. And that is Kitabul Kabair by Imām Adh-Dhahabi, the book that tells us what are the major sins, so that we can know them and run away from them. We're in a generation now where people don't care about sins again. So we can use it to also remind ourselves about sins. The major sins, Kitabul Kabair by Imām Adh-Dhahabi rahimahullah. This is what is coming to my mind now that we should read after this Seerah of Fatima radiyallahu anha. We should spend the time to know what are those things that Allah wants us to run away from, because we are in the times of ghafla. People are in forgetfulness. Many sins that Allah hates are now considered as normal. Some people don't even know what are the things that Allah doesn't want them to do. I think it will be a reminder for me and for the rest of us if we go through Kitabu Al-Kaba'ir by Al-Hafiz Al-Dhahabi. So the same person telling us about the Seerah. This time he is giving us a hadith that warns us regarding those things that Allah does not like, that we need to run away from, that are major from sins, called Al-Kaba'ir. I think we can go through that book one after the other, after we end the discussions about Fatima from this book, Siyar A'alām An-Nubala. Abu Abdurrahman.
صلوات الله عليكم يا شيخنا.
آمين وأنتم أبا عبد الرحمن.
جزاكم الله خير.
آمين وإياكم.
First question, Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
So one cannot perform a ghusl on himself or herself before one's death, which suffice for ghusl janazah. Asking for clarification.
You cannot observe the ghusl on yourself because it is not a right of yourself on yourself. The ghusl of maut can only be made after the person dies. If you have not died, you are not entitled to a bath. So if you give the bath to yourself before you die, you have not reached the place. Death itself deserves the ghusl. It is death that makes the ghusl compulsory. It is death that makes the ghusl compulsory. So if the person has not died and he makes the ghusl, it does not have any meaning as far as the ghusl of death is concerned. Passing through death itself requires ghusl. Just like when a person comes to Islam, he has ghusl he has to take. I hope that it is clear. And other things. So it is death that makes the ghusl compulsory on those of us who are alive. It is compulsory on those of us who are alive. It is compulsory on all of us until we find one or two amongst the Muslims who does it. So once one or two of the Muslims do it, then the compulsoriness, the obligation goes off the rest of us. That's why the scholars will call it, they will say it is from the furudul kifaiya. It is from those obligations that when some Muslims do it, the obligation goes off the head of the rest of the Muslims. It is called fardu kifaya. I hope that it is clear. So if a person has a ghusl and then dies, the death itself makes it compulsory on the rest of the Muslims to give that person a funeral bath. I hope that it is clear. I mean,
Please, how much right does the stepmother have over a daughter, even if the stepmother doesn't fully treat her as she will be to her daughter?
Well, the statement of Aisha here makes us understand that it is necessary for daughters to know that their stepmothers have rights over them. The statement of Aisha here makes us understand that stepmothers have rights over us. If they don't have rights, and that those rights are not serious and heavy, Aisha would not be quoting those rights. So that Aisha was mentioning those rights, that is the evidence that there are rights. That Aisha was mentioning those rights, that is the evidence that there are rights, and that the rights is heavy. That was what pushed Fatima to have to say it. So it is almost like the rights of mothers. They are in the status of your mothers in the house of your father. So please respect your stepmothers. because they are the wives of your fathers too. I hope that it is clear. If they don't have rights, Aisha radiallahu anha would not be telling Fatima that I adjure you, I push you, I call you by the rights that I ask you, by the rights that I have over you. Fatima radiallahu anha recognized those rights and told her. I hope that it is clear. So there is rights. There is right. Allahu Alam. Ameen.
Another question is, what was the hikmah behind Fatima radiallahu anha not informing about what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said until his death? Does that mean that one can expose a secret conversation after the death of the other person? Because we learned that Anas did not expose what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent him during the time of the Prophet and after his death.
Yes, it is true that the hadith of Anas regarding his mother, in fact, it was Anas's mother who further placed it on Anas never to reveal the secrets of the Prophet when he sent him on an errand. Here in this case, Fatima radiallahu anha employed a judgment by herself. Fatima radiallahu anha saw it that if she said that matter to the people, it was not something that was dangerous in any way, to not affect anybody, no negative consequence. So she told the secret. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the secrets of munafiqun. Who are they? He mentioned them to Hudhayfa. When Umar went to Hudhayfa asking, Hudhayfa said, I will not tell you, but I know that you are not among, O Umar. And after you, I will not guarantee any other person. So that pushed everybody to start fearing and acting properly to be sure that they are not from the munafiqun. So sometimes the person having a secret, they feel that there is now benefit for me to tell people, or there is no benefit in telling the people. Like Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu during the times of fitan said, the Prophet told me something, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I said it, some people will cut off my head because there is no benefit saying it. But if there is benefit in saying it, then we should say it. Such as the case of Mu'adh ibn Jabal, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said it that al-tajri ma haqqu nasi ma haqqu Allahi ala al-ibad wa ma haqqu al-ibadi ala Allah. You remember this hadith about Tawheed, that anyone who does not associate partners with Allah, Allah will put that person into Al-Jannah, no matter what he does. Mu'adh said, radiyallahu anhu, Afala ubashirun nas. Should I not go and give the people this good news? That as long as you do not commit shirk, Allah will forgive you and put you into Al-Jannah. Should I not go and tell the people? The Prophet prevented him. He said, don't tell the people. Allah yattakilu, so that they do not go and become lazy, relax. But later on, Muaz told us, that's why we knew it today. Why? Because there is benefit in it for people who commit sins to know that they still have a hope. As long as it is not shirk, there is still hope. Allah can still forgive a person, no matter the sin, as long as that person did not commit kufr. That person is not a Christian. The person is not a Jew. He is not an idol worshipper. He died upon Islam. He may have sins. Allah can still forgive that person. And that thing conforms with the verse of the Quran. Inna Allah la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. Anybody who dies upon sin, Allah can forgive that person. The only one he will not forgive is the one who dies on shirk. But if you die upon any sin lesser than shirk, not involving shirk or kufur, Allah has the right, He can forgive, subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His absolute mercy. So, ikhwa, if telling the secret has a lot of benefits, if it will benefit the people, if it will bring a lot of benefits, we should say it. If it will not bring benefit, don't say it. Like the one that Abu Huraira said. In fact, if it will lead to fitna, don't say it. So 3 things. If the secret will lead to fitna, saying it, don't say it. If the secret will not even have any benefits, don't say it. But when it is beneficial, then you should say it. From the benefits of Fatima telling Aisha was that it calmed down Aisha. Because Aisha didn't know what he said. And she was apprehensive, radiallahu anha. What's happening? You alone. We all the wives were here. So Fatima, Allahu Alam, she felt that if she said it, it will calm down Aisha, radiallahu anha. And she knew how very strongly Aisha feels regarding the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the first benefit is that it will calm down Aisha and the rest of the women who were there. Don't forget, those other women were not the mothers of Fatima. So if she told them, it will calm them down, radiallahu anha. I think those were from the benefits that she considered, that if I tell the women, they will calm down. And there is nothing involved in it that's dangerous. So sometimes if the benefit is pressing, then we should say the secret that's involved. And it will not cause disaffection amongst people. You can say the secret. I hope that it is clear about Brahman. Just like Muaz too also told us the secret. That anyone whose problem is not shirk or kufur, Allah can forgive such persons. So if there's a pressing benefit, we should say it. If there's no pressing benefit, then keep it. If it is going to cause fitna, don't even say it at all. I hope that this is clear. Ameen, ameen.
How can a thinking striving but struggling to be obedient hope to be united with partner of Allah and other people?
About the Rahman, I did not hear that question.
It reads, Lisa, how can a sinful sister striving but struggling to be obedient hope to be united with Fatima radiallahu anha and other people, women in general?
Just go and learn about them. Go and learn about how they live their lives as Muslims. Follow it step by step. You will get to where they got to. Go and learn about their lives. Follow it step by step. We have explained about the life of Aisha. It is the most detailed biography of a woman you would find in this ummah. The most detailed biography of a woman you would find is regarding who? Aisha bint Abi Bakr as-Siddiq, zawjatu Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if you go and listen to all our discussions about Aisha, follow it step by step. Be sincere in it. Bismillah, you will get to where they are. Allah will connect you to them. Someone came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Messenger of Allah, I love Allah and I love His Messenger. He loved the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But sometimes I'm not able to, my deeds are not like their own. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged the man, yes, with your love, Ar-Rajulu ma'a man ahabba. The individual will be connected to those that he loves. So if you truly love Fatima, if you truly love Aisha, Khadija, Zainab, Hafsa, Juwayriyah, all these righteous wives of the Prophet, and those women in the past who were upon their model of life, model your life like their own. Allah will bring you to where they are, bi'ithnillah, out of your genuine love for them and your devotion to Allah subhanahu. I hope that it is clear about Rahman. I mean, there's a question about one of the Ummahat asking about 3 of her children. Please keep it in mind. We'll give a response to that question in class tomorrow, inshallah. Now we call it a day today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.